Hi, this is Max Drake. I just want to talk about this data viz through here, which is basically just taking some data and playing with it as it goes through. This was the data that I was looking at. Initially, I tried doing an XPath of this, but because it's got a JavaScript thing that pulls the data up, you can't capture the data from the website itself, but you can actually download these series from the deaths, the confirmed and the recovered, from this website here, and I'll put a link to this website in the video below. What I actually ended up doing was I started to use it with Excel. I was using Google Sheets online, but I actually found that because so many people are at home at the moment, it's just too slow. The data set has actually got countries and regions, and it's also got provinces and states for some of the data, so it's a mixed thing. The other nice thing, it's got the lat long, so you can actually put the coordinates down for some of these things as well. And I've got the three initial files, which are the deaths, the recovered and the confirmed, and then anyway, I've just linked them all together through onto one sheet through here. I've then when you actually get to this point here, inside I then just went down, so control down to the very bottom, through there, and I just go control shift up and across and select everything, and I'll call that all stuff. So I actually have all those cells taken over, so I've got them clearly identified. Let's just see that that's there, that's all there, so it selects all of that. Now if I just go into insert, I can go into the 3D map. Now this 3D map, I'm actually going to, now I'll keep that one open, I'm going to have a new tour. I don't know if I can, if the other one is still sit there or not. Be interesting to see. No, now can I get back to play tour? No, it's only giving me this tour. Now, although I've actually only got that one data set on there, it's given me two field lists going all the way through here, which I find, in fact, there's a third field list through there. Now, that's interesting because I was playing with this before and having some difficulty with it. One of the things that was actually happening was in the very first lot, if here it's got the countries and the lat long, so it's actually putting the dots on there, and then I want to say look at the confirmed, so I put the height of the thing down as confirmed, and it's not letting me do that because I'm actually in range 2. So if I put confirmed into there, I'm just going to leave that just like that, confirmed into there at that point here, and here I can select date. Now if I add a layer here, for the first time that I was doing that, I use this first range through here. So first of all, through here I've got country, region, I've got lat long, lat long and provinces through here. When I did this one, and if I just did confirmed and confirm for the category that we're looking at, when I tried putting the date, it wouldn't let me do that. So therefore, I couldn't show any information on the date at all. So it's very frustrating. And you have to make sure that in your actual Excel file itself, that you actually have your cells formatted correctly. And I found that I actually had to have it formatted in the American way. I'm not too certain on that, but it seemed to be a bit temperamental. So I had to have it in the American way, which was month, day, and then year. So you actually have to go into in the formatting through there to make sure you use custom and actually use the formatting there to make sure you get the formatting in the right way. Anyway, once I fired this one across through to the actual area itself, we just delete that one, and we'll just delete and go back to layer 1. Once we've got that information on there, there's a couple of things with the layers, is that we just put the layers by maximum height, and we'll make the things a bit thicker just so that they're eligible, and we turn off zeros and negatives. Now when you play this, and I'm going to put confirmed, no aggregation, and I'm going to put that to the maximum through there, you can see the columns changing over the date over the time. Now again, you can actually have the date up here, and this date comes through, which will be coming through for the play. One of the things it does start looking, if I just play this scene at the moment, it's going to go very, very quickly. You'll see it's quite irritating with the time coming through, because it seems to be a date time thing coming through, and also the layers. I don't think that the legend does much at all. So I usually remove that. You can actually add a text box and put a title. This is title, and some blurb onto there, and you can color all of those ones up. And once they come through, you can go and drag and drop that anywhere you want, or actually give it a colored background to put through there. This one here, what I do with this, I actually found, initially I thought you actually had to have that format, but in fact you can actually just have the day format. I can never quite get it to center right on the middle of the model. So when we actually come to run this through here, you'll find that it shunts over to the side because it's that. And the other thing is that you can't get anything else on this screen as well. The other thing that it actually has as well, which is quite good, is inside here it's got some settings. So a couple of settings that it's got to rotate the globe. The problem with the rotate the globe is a lot of the times when you actually want to see actions like in China, where it's starting to happen in China and then it starts affecting the rest of the world, it's gone round to the side where the America, and so you see nothing happening. So, but you can change the speed, and I've usually found that about 60 seconds, which is a minute, which is quite a long time, with the full rotations, as you see what actually happens in China, then you see what happens in Europe, and then you see America just starting off. But it is a long duration, so I'm just going to keep that down to about 5 seconds, and then we're just going to go and fire that off. Now you see it starts and it's zooming through, but you see the rotation of the globe coming round. So that one was quite slow as far as that rotation goes, whereas if you take it up to 60 seconds, it'll go a lot further. What I found inside here is the figure 8 seems to work, where I actually sit it, and you can adjust these ones here as to how you're looking at it, like there. So you can see China and you can see Europe. So this is the point of Europe and the ones that I've got through here. So now if I just modify that slightly and I slow it down just slightly, and we go and play, you'll see it's starting to grow and the date changing's coming through up here. You can make that bigger and do those changes, and this one comes through here like that. So it's quite a nice way to see the visual changing over time. And also the other thing that I'd note on that one, if I just replay that one there again. So here's China, but then you start seeing the early infections. Now on this you can actually pause it, so you can see most of Europe has now got cases all the way through, and through the Middle East down here. Russia's got them. Now this is one of the confusing things, like inside China they're all in the provinces through here. If we swing around the globe to Canada, you'll see that those are done by provinces, but the States and the rest of South America and Mexico and all through the Caribbean, they've only just got the one for the thing. This seems to be changing a little bit over time. Like in Italy, you'll see that there's several markers through there. That's most probably Monaco or somewhere, and that's actually, this is Italy as a one on its own. I think that's the Vatican there, and that's San Malo or something. So some of them are by country and some of them aren't, which is a bit confusing when you're actually doing the change, seeing the changes occur. So inside here you can change it, and you can just leave it to just sit and rotate. Well, it's not doing that at this point in time. So you can start seeing the growth as it occurs, and then it stops and it starts again. So what you can do with this as well is that you can actually create a video. You can first of all just play the tour. You can capture a screen, so it's just doing screen capture, but you can do that anyway. You can use this for the tour editor here. The tour editor should bring this part here up. The layer field is this part here comes up, and the field list are the items that you can choose. Now, for some unknown reason, I can't blow away these earlier ranges of stuff. And once I've actually had use this, even if I save the file to another file name or something like that, it seems to have a memory of this, so it keeps on coming back, so I can't do. It has got extra layers so that you can do a different display through here. So on this one here, instead of doing death, I could actually do active cases. And this was something that I was interested in doing. So, bugger, wrong place. So we've got to do country region, we've got to do province state, we've got to do lat long through there, and then we've got to do date through there. But one of the things that I found with active cases and the way that it does them here is, although it's not aggregating them, although that one there with the sum it does, no aggregation, I tried setting this up and I fudged a bit of the data, is that I actually made China ones reach a real peak and then I made it reduce. So I kind of said, oh, well, they've recovered, and I said something like 10,000 or something, just to see if I could reduce that down. But if you actually see when I play this, starting from the beginning, it grows. And this is the one which I adjusted. Then Europe starts coming up and all of that occurred. But you see, this doesn't reduce down again. So at the end of it, the numbers don't change. So that's a bit disappointed. So it seems to be doing doing it, but I can't actually, even if you do a count distinct and do all sorts of other things, whatever I've done, I've not been able to get that. So it only seems to go one way. So it's a sort of a pretty, but at the same point in time, it's not changing. So it's not reflecting what's really there. You see, there's no, as I'm these ones here coming up, this one here on the data. So I think it's useful for things which are growing over time, but it's not good for things which grow and then reduce again. It doesn't seem to reflect that as well. So nice toy to play with. The creative video, I've done a couple of those and put them in there. This is just one saying how I actually use it. So I hope that's been of interest to you. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked it, can you give it a thumbs up?